Hi there, Atomfall. So this is the very interesting project, and there is no time for cake or tea or Cornish pastries. We got a jolly old English first-person survival game to hunker down with the courtesy of the sniper elite crew, the Rebellion. Atomfall is easily Rebellion's largest and most ambitious game to the date, stuck with choices, dangerous outlaws, and crazy groups of Neanderthals, as well as the vast opportunities to explore its resplendent and idyllic English setting. Can Atomfall stand apart and stamp its own watermark on the survival genre, or will it be passed off as nothing more than a totally whole Fallout wannabe boodle? Set in the Lake District's 5 years after the world-scare disaster of the late 1950s, Atomfall places in you in sure what-if scenario, suggesting to players what if the devastating aftermath of the wind-scale disaster caused extreme measures of quantitating both the country and the military. Of course, the answer would be total anarchy, triggering an outraged population into forming tribes. All out bedlam would be raging up and down the country, and insecurity would be for menu breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, yes, welcome to the world of the Autumnfall. This game places you in the role of the nameless amnesiac who once awakes inside a bunker to find an alien hazmat suit wearing fellow bleeding from the abdomen who desperately requires your assistance. The poor soul talks about another bunker known as the Intercharge, which promises to unlock answers pertaining to the miseries of the quarantine, as well as assisting you with finding a way on this rural hellscape you trap inside of. From here, you can decide whenever you act like a backstabbing cretin by manipulating this bleeding scientist into giving you what you want, or agreeing to help him with what he needs in exchange for what you desire. This into acts a great premiere of what the world of Autumnfall has in store for you, giving you a choice to help or hinder, and setting the adventure in motion without giving away too much context or wrapping you up in a blanket of relentless and needless busywork. What do you do when you walk out of the bunker and into the Lake District is in your hands? On the subject of the hands, your hand doesn't need to be held. You can dive right in there, investigate the world around you without feeling restricted, which is already one inseparable way Autumnfall invites you to drink it all in. The level of autonomy you embellished with is definitely more freeing than the uncomfortable conditions of the quarantine would have you believe. The only danger with the premise is the whole amnesiac protagonist setup, which has been done a bazillion times in the past, and it's overworn cliche, but what unfolds in front of you is the focus, not so much you can character endures. Drama is the premium in Autumnfall, and when you find yourself investigating leads and solving some problems, you'll be thankful that the location and you visit occupy your time with the characters and signs that will truly leave their mark, allowing you to forget the nameless protagonist who doesn't remember anything. Rebellion wants Autumnfall experience to be about the choice, which is expressed throughout the range of options you afforded. 5 difficulty settings provide with the dexterity of the OPT for playstyles best suited to you. If you want a hassle-free time so you can soak up the sun, collect and discover the game secrets at your own leisure, then decide in its difficulty it is for you. So, conversely, if you want a hardcore challenge where resource management and tactical planning is paramount to survival, then you want to brave the perilous and unpredictable roads that veteran difficulty will lead you down. In between these options, they are investigator, brawler, and survivor difficulties, which scale up certain aspects while toning down the others. For example, Investigator will retain scientist combat easiness, but you will be subject to fewer resources whenever Brawler arms up the combat challenge, but it's balanced out by survival and exploration assist. The survival difficulty Apti gives you a stern survival challenge, but the combat and exploration is made easier, and on top of this, it's a recommended way to play according to the battalion themselves. So the flexibility of Atomfall, difficulty, its dodge, determination to tailor your experience of this simply superb. Rebellion clearly understands the importance of all tenets that conjure up a survival game, but at the same time, they're wholly respecting that not every player wants unbinding and frustratingly chaotic experience that never stops pouring on the intriguer, the delightful sights and sounds, but always wants players to enjoy every morsel of it. No matter how you choose to play, Atomic Fall will never ever find the game truly comes alive due to wide assortments of encounters and locations you discover as you travel the world. Don't be too alarmed by the myriad of patrols you find smoother throughout the streets and districts of Autumnfall. If you are the best behavior, they ignore you so that you can focus on exploring and discovering its peaceful in the way as possible. However, if you decide to become a jerk and bat these Tommies around the bounds, you start a war you may not win unless you arm to the gills. Don't step in their restricted areas either, though they may politely ask you to step off and they will look other way. But don't go testing them unless you upped your arsenal. Let's make no mistake. Just because the Lake District is encased inside a quarantine zone, this doesn't not mean you won't find a bunch of weird and wonderful characters, alarming discoveries, or amazing chill hangouts. The abundance of surprises waiting for you are truly splendid indeed. Better yet, character interactions can spill out more quests and investigation at nodes. Scripts and letters you find will spring up your new locations for you to discover. This means you'll find yourself with a plenty to do, peel yourself away from the evil pursuit of smashing up innocent garden gnomes. Strikingly, Autumnfall's beauty and exploration mirrors the Chinese room everybody's gone to rupture. Given the Autumnfall's exploration qualities allow you to calmly stroll throughout the soldier seized streets and into distinctly British bakeries at the pubs. At times you find yourself shuddering with a pang of fear every time the telephone inside the red telephone box rings off. The strange voice is for the building, all utterings reminding you that even you surrounded by the beauty, there are still many inks unsavory lurking for the your diet. Okay, so stunning is the best way to describe how Autumnfall looks and sounds. The naturalistic and rural English aesthetics are the chorus of sanding, and more so when you factor in the fact that it's rare to see an authentic triple R quality presentation of British culture in video games. The scenery and constantly breathtaking it should compel you to forget business so you can totally immerse yourself in your surroundings. The voice acting and the scripts are surprisingly very British as well. Sam sounds like Josh Cleese, doesn't he? Welsh and Scouse representation is abundant among the NPC too, which really highlights the distinct British flavor of Autumnfall. American gamers shall surely rejoice in how different ye old British values are compared with the familiar American values that Western culture has been saturated by for decades. Remarkable is one of the most appropriate ways to describe Atomfall. So many AAA games these days are situated in American cities and smoother you will in American cultural values, but Atomfall is as British as Yorkshire pining. It's thus an absolute treat. The array of difficulty options, the elegant scenery, the incentive to discover and go off the beaten path, and all the pleasant signs and sounds of Autumnfall make it unforgettable and outstanding survival game that is irresistibly Moorish and well worth your time. You may feel like some elements could not be fleshed out more like the combat, but when there's so much intrigue to relish in, there's no doubt that there is an all-compromising survival game that gives all types of players an accommodating hand to experience its ultra and most exclusive survival action shooter games. And remarkable, as I said, the best way to highlight the Autumnfall. Thanks for watching. Follow my channel. Peace.